Sara Ali Khan, welcome back on Bollywood Hungama and huge congratulations and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too, Faridunji.
All right, so how does it feel? Atrangi Re started off on a grand note. The sort of love that has come your way. I'm sure that you're in a far more happier space.
I think I am. I really truly am. I'm. It's a good. It's a great combination of humbled, grateful, relieved, excited, little bit nervous also, because now I know like I have to pull the socks up. I think after a while I've tasted love again, and now I just want this, and I just want to keep doing more and better work. So yes.
Right. During the last conversation when you said about the fact that I was raised on a pedestal from my first film itself and from all the interviews that I did in the beginning, and then I was suddenly brought down. So there was an element of in a way hurt and experience and all those things coming all together. So when you taste success, and I believe you guys were a bit apprehensive because of the OTT release, because it was not a theater release, but in a way it was providence because the way Omicron happened, so theater release would not have been a good idea. How does it feel in terms of, is it wisdom?
Honestly, so like it wasn't my decision, and now the wisdom or the providence or the good decision or bad decision, it was never really mine.
I'm saying
The only thing
circumstances.
that was mine was the honesty and
Circumstances.
heart. No, matlab, I don't know about any of that. All I know is that it's a film that me and Anandji made with a lot of love. And as long as we've gotten love back, whether it was OTT or not, that's all that really matters. I think that if we've been able to touch even a few counted hearts and souls, that's more than what most people do. That's more than what I've done in the past. So as long as I've been able to do that, मतलब उतने में ही मैं खुश हूँ.
All right, and क्या होता है जब चीजें चल जाती हैं तो हर चीज के बारे में बात होती है और चर्चा होती है. Now, in a way, Atrangi Re is a film that is helmed by you, and you had two wonderful men who supported you beautifully. Two wonderful men in the sense on screen. Obviously, Anandji was behind the scenes. So, एक तरीके से फिल्म को अपने shoulders पे carry कर पाने का जो एक credit होता है, वो बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है इंडस्ट्री में. सो आपके शोल्डर्स जो हैं वो और बुलंद हो चुके हैं कि आप कैसे फील कर रहे हैं? हाउ ये शोल्डर्स?
बिल्कुल नहीं, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. ये आनंद जी की ही बुलंदी है शोल्डर्स की. मैंने बस रिंकू को बहुत प्यार दिया है और ईमानदारी से काम किया है. But ultimately, films are fully a director's medium. And I don't think that I'm carrying anything on my shoulders. Anandji has carried me on his shoulders. And I think that that's all there is to it.
How have the messages coming in from within the industry in the last few days?
Very, very overwhelming. Everybody's just been saying such kind things to me, to Anandji. But what's even more touching is the fact that people are messaging my father and my grandmother things about me. एक होता है कि लोग मतलब मुझे बोल दें, जो कि हो, I mean, even somewhere down the line, like even if they don't love it, what will they say to me? You don't understand objectivity. कोई मुझे क्या ही बोल देगा. But when people are going out of their way to message my grandmother, who, I don't think she's ever received messages about my performance before.
Right.
And now that she is, and she's messaging me, she's forwarding me. It's a great compliment. And she watched it herself, my grandmother, Badi Amma. And she loved it. And my father cried. And these are all big things. These are not things that have happened every time. ये शायद पहली बार है जहाँ मैंने अपने पिताजी को रुला दिया है और मैंने अपनी दादी, मेरी वजह से मेरी दादी को कम से कम 10 से 15 मैसेजेस आ रहे हैं इस फिल्म को लेकर. तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत ही ज्यादा बड़ी विक्ट्री है.
Alright, so सारा आपने अपनी पहली फिल्म से ही आपने एक Heartland को आपने स्टार्ट किया है. You've taken the Heartland along with you. Now you're someone who has studied in Colombia and you have this this wonderful family. But what I felt while watching Atrangi Re, that मुझे लगा कि ये जो है आप सैफ अली खान की लेगेसी को आप सही मानों में आप आगे लेके जा रही हैं. And I'll tell you why. Saif surprises when he does all these Omkara sort of roles. The cuss words and the heartland, and he's so good at that. And similarly, in Atrangi Re, you're saying the cuss words very lucidly. They're coming very organically, and even the entire accent, Bihari accent, and the entire body lingo and everything, that's coming across very nicely. So, would you say that in a way you're doing your father proud? You're taking forward his legacy of surprising your audience?
I don't know about his legacy, but I definitely do think I am making him proud. And it's interesting that you say what you said, because when my father watched the film and he spoke to me, he said that he, for the first time, didn't see Sara.
Of course.
And he saw Rinku. And that's a big, big compliment, you know, because I know that I have a very strong personality. अब वो चाहे इंटरव्यू में हो या इंस्टाग्राम में हो या पर्दे पर हो, it gets difficult to divorce Sara from the character she's playing.
Right.
And I think the fact that people nearest and dearest to me have been able to see the fact that Anandji has very beautifully managed to use Sara to portray Rinku while giving Rinku her own characteristics. To me itself, it's so amazing to watch.
Of course. And Sara, एक चीज मैं और भी सोच रहा था जब मैंने फिल्म देखी और मैं भी इंटरव्यू करने से पहले I was just thinking about something that जो किरदार है आप रिंकू का जो किरदार है वो स्टार्ट ऑफ करता है बॉयस्चरस तरीके से, बहुत बिंदास है and all those things. फिर then gradually जो उसकी जिंदगी की जो ट्रेजेडी है वो भी अनफोल्ड करती है, and by the end of it really touches you. You personally are coming from a broken family. You've seen a certain childhood that you mentioned in my last interview as well. That must have been tough. You are this wonderful boisterous person from the outside, but I'm sure that you have certain vacuum as well. How cathartic is it for you to do a character like Rinku?
I honestly think that Rinku and me have very different lives, because I have a very supportive family. Whether I come from a broken home or not, I think that more than a broken home, I think I come from two homes. You know, so I don't really carry the burden of loneliness. I have a lot of support from my mother and my father. तो कभी बगावत का मौका या बगावत का कारण नहीं मिला है मुझे. तो उस तरह से मुझे लगता है मैं और रिंकू काफी अलग हैं, हमारी जिंदगी काफी अलग है. I have a much stronger support system than she does. But I think the fact that we are both ultimately vulnerable people that hide our vulnerability in the guise of confidence is something that I find similar to me and Rinku.
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily the lack of family support, but कुछ भी हो, अगर कोई भी मुझे कुछ भी बोल दे, मैं हंसी मजाक में हा 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 करके उसे ले लेती हूँ. उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरी भावनाएं नहीं है, उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मुझे महसूस नहीं होता. And that I find very cathartic, because that I think is something that Rinku feels too. You know what, वो हंस हंस के बोल देगी कि you know, especially when I rewatched it, I actually saw what Anandji was trying to make me do, and I actually quite enjoyed it objectively. The scene where after Chaka Chak, Dhanush is taking me out of his engagement, and I say, "Buddha दो थप्पड़ मार के छोड़ ही देता, पिटने में तो PhD है हमारी." सोनाक्षी सिन्हा को तो सिर्फ थप्पड़ से डर नहीं लगता, हमें तो लात घूसा चप्पल किसी से डर नहीं लगता. The way Rinku's saying what she's saying, it's funny. You know, it's a humorous line. Like whenever I've watched it with anybody, I've watched it with the crew that I'm shooting with right now. I've watched it with a couple of my friends in Bombay at a screening. सब कोई उस लाइन पर हंसता है, और मुझे वो बात बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लगती है, क्योंकि वो बोल क्या रही है, वो बोल रही है कि उसको पिटने में PhD है, उसकी नानी ने उसको मार मार के उसका बुरा हाल कर दिया. जब बकरी का भी सीन होता है, वो बोलती है कि फ्रेश दूध पी लो, जब नानी से पिट के भी हम यही पिया करते थे. So the fact that she's actually talking about such hardships in her life, but with a tone that will actually leave you laughing, is something that I find very interesting.
So basically, the cathartic part that I meant was primarily that this boisterous outside, and maybe there is something which is there from the inside that the world does not know. So
always, I definitely feel that way.
I primarily felt from that perspective.
वो तो होता ही है.
एक बहुत ही दिलचस्प सी जो हम लोग एक चीज एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं. some people are accepting it, some people are not. अब जैसे OTT में क्या हो रहा है कि बहुत सी अलग अलग जुबानें जो हैं हम कंटेंट कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, और जुबान जो है वो आज के टाइम पे एक बैरियर नहीं रहा. यू आर स्टिल कनेक्टिंग.
जी.
ओके, जो हमने फैमिली मैन में देखा कि तमिल भी बोली जा रही है, हिंदी भी बोली जा रही है, इंग्लिश भी बोली जा रही है, बट यू आर नॉट फीलिंग द नीड टू ट्रांसलेट तमिल. ओके, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द सबटाइटल्स. यही चीज हम लोग देख रहे हैं अतरंगी रे में भी, कि धनुष जब तमिल में बोल रहे हैं, और आपने इंसिस्ट किया कि यू डोंट वांट टू नो द मीनिंग of what he is talking, but as a viewer, I'm feeling this is something which is new, and this is something that is organic. They are not trying to simplify things कि हम तमिल अगर बोले हैं तो उसको हम ट्रांसलेट भी करें, वो फॉरेन ट्रांसलेट भी कर रहे हैं. That I found rather progressive. Do you think that this is the way people are going to be consuming content in their organic manner rather than oversimplification?
I think it depends. I think that it's a director and a writer's call on what they want to say. I think that, अगर धनुष कोई जैसे for instance मधु का जो किरदार है कहानी में, वो कहीं ना कहीं एक नरेटर का किरदार है. वो आपको समझा रहा है रिंकू के साथ उसकी मानसिक स्थिति क्या है, उसके साथ क्या हो रहा है. अब अगर ये चीज तमिल में हो रही होती तो शायद हमको सबटाइटल्स की जरूरत पड़ती ताकि सारे दर्शक समझ पाते. लेकिन धनुष का जो किरदार है वो ऐसी चीजें तमिल में बोल रहा है जो कि आई डोंट थिंक आर डिफाइंड और लिमिटेड बाय लैंग्वेज. लव इज द काइंड ऑफ थिंग दैट ट्रांसेंड्स द बैरियर ऑफ लैंग्वेज. रिंकू को, सारा को और दर्शकों को बिना तमिल जाने हुए समझ आ रहा है कि वो अपने प्यार का इजहार कर रहा है. आई डोंट नो वेदर दिस इज द न्यू वे दैट लैंग्वेज विल बी कंज्यूम्ड और एनीथिंग. आई थिंक दैट इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द डायरेक्टर एंड आई थिंक इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द डिमांड ऑफ द सीन. मुझे लगता है मतलब डिपेंड करता है ना. अगर कोई ऐसी चीज तमिल में बोली जा रही है जिसका सबका समझना बहुत अहम है फिल्म के लिए, तो फिर शायद ट्रांसलेट कर लेंगे. लेकिन अगर ये एक ऐसा नुआंस है कि आपकी फीमेल प्रोटैगनिस्ट नहीं समझ रही है कि आपका मेल प्रोटैगनिस्ट क्या बोल रहा है, पर फिर भी क्योंकि प्यार की परिभाषा भाषा नहीं होती है, आंखें होती हैं और भावनाएं होती हैं, तो if that is the mode that the director is looking at, like Anand ji was looking at, then I don't think you need to oversimplify.
Fantastic. All right. So एक और बहुत दिलचस्प जो बात इस फिल्म के साथ में हो रही है कि that म्यूजिक जो है वो फिल्म के आने के बाद में और ज्यादा पॉपुलर होती जा रही है. And I think the credits were wonderful. A.R. Rahman film, Irshad Kamal film that comes later, which was truly wonderful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. So Chaka Chak already had become this huge success, but now the other songs, they are being lapped up by people as well. Do you find it fascinating when the music grows on you after the film?
I mean, it's difficult for me to be objective about it because the first thing I ever heard was the scratch of Red Zarasi. So it got stuck in my head immediately, but it did grow on me also. And I think that, rather than catchy item songs, this film has very soulful music. So the more you invest in Rinku or Visu or Sajjad, the more the music starts resonating with you. For me, every time I hear the scratch of Red Zarasi, which I still have on my WhatsApp, or I hear the final version, which is on YouTube, the only thing I can see is Dhanush and me in Banaras.
Wow.
So it does, I think, the music of this film does have the ability to just take you back immediately. And for me, as the actor of the film, I immediately go back to shooting with Dhanush in Banaras. But a viewer will hopefully immediately go back to the experience of watching the film. So I do think that our music is the kind of music that जितना आप हमारे किरदारों के रूह को जानोगे और समझोगे और उनके पर्सनालिटी से और उनके जहन से आप वाकिफ होगे, उतना ही आपको म्यूजिक familiar लगेगा और बेहतर लगेगा. So I do think it will grow on you.
All right, Waqif and all that. That's wonderful. You said that you want to do a remake of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai with Janhvi.
Yeah, and Vijay Deverakonda.
And Vijay Deverakonda, yeah. Vijay Deverakonda, you mentioned in the last interview that he's hot. Okay, well, so that's a good casting. That's a very interesting casting.
Right? I should be a casting director also.
I'm sure. And you recently posted pictures of Kashmir.
Right, like 5 minutes ago.
I like the best picture was that the picture with that old man. That's that you like talking to people when you're visiting, when you travel?
A lot. I think that itna seekhne ko milta hai, even if like you don't, it's not like I have like 5-hour-long conversations with everyone. But even, just especially in our country, especially in the remote areas of our country, the level of simplicity, Faridun ji, that these people have, और जितने simple होते हैं ना, उतना ज़्यादा उनकी देने की क्षमता होती है. मतलब when I go to like Delhi or Bangalore or Bombay or Goa, it doesn't really happen. But whenever I'm in like Kinnaur or, Pahalgam, or the outskirts of Pataudi and Haryana, somebody will be like, आइए ये हम अमरूद लाए हैं मार्केट से, आप ले लीजिए, चाय पियेंगे, बाजरे की रोटी बना दें. मतलब the way people go out of their way to just the hospitality that people that actually have less in our country have It's something that is beautiful. Even this person, this shopkeeper, आइए क्या लेंगे आप, चाय ले लीजिए, biscuits ले लीजिए. I mean, what does he get out of it? Just
Right,
like some niceness.
Right, and then noon chai. Okay, and you also posted on Instagram recently that video of "I'm a Woman." That was a wonderful video as well.
Thank you.
So, what is your ideation when you are posting these Instagram videos? Because you're sharing your journey, your life journey in a way. You're sharing your mind.
I think that to me, Instagram is something that I use for various different purposes. You know, sometimes like, you know, if it's New Year's, I want to, you know, put something motivational that motivates me, something, you know, that I want, like. Sometimes I just want to put a throwback image because I'm missing Kashmir. Sometimes I like to, you know, promote my film. Sometimes I'm missing Anandji. Sometimes I'm, you know, wanting to make fun of Ibrahim and do knock knock. So I think that it just depends on my mood.
Right. That knock knock with Salman Khan was hilarious.
Yeah, na?
Okay, and you also posted this video with Farhan's song. Zinda Hai Hum. That was wonderful.
I think that, you know, the one that, like, I feel that, you know, I know that 2020 and 2021 have been like challenging years for everybody. And I luckily enough, you know, me and my family were at least privileged enough to be together, be safe. And I even got some time off, you know, to go and travel, which I know is not something that most people even got to do. So apart from being very, very, very thankful and grateful for these moments, I also felt most free, most alive, because I think that not just because of COVID, but just in general, I didn't, you know, the freedom of just being a solo traveler in our country is something that really truly makes you feel zinda. And each moment that I captured in that video were moments of true liberation and gratitude for the life that we have and the life that I have, for being able to do this at times where maybe people genuinely couldn't. So I'm very, very grateful, and I don't want to take my life for granted. I want to live each moment to the fullest and just be thankful for all that I do have.
And what about this fact that people like you from your interviews, the way you are, the way you talk? That is something that a lot of people have personally told me.
That's a big, I think that as an actor, you know, there's scope for me to learn, unlearn, grow, explore, you know, change. But as a person, now I'm 26. So I don't think that I can really drastically change as a human being. So I'm very thankful that people like the way I talk on a genuine, real level. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है अब लेट हो गया वो बदलना. तो अब अगर सर नहीं बोलेंगे यार फिल्टर लेके आ जाओ, ऐसे मत बात करो, अपना कैमरा थोड़ा हाई पकड़ो, बेटर एंगल होता है, तो मतलब it's a bit late for all that now. Now that ship has sailed.
It's not. You're just 26. You're just 26.
No, yeah, but you know who you are. By 20, you know who you are. I knew who I was.
We are in fascinating times as far as content is concerned. But there are times when certain controversies tend to happen. And as an actor, what are your views on self-censorship? You know, how important is it for you to be safe? कि यार मतलब ये कुछ ऐसा कुछ इसमें कहीं कुछ controversy ना हो जाए, and maybe if we can be safe, that is in a way better.
I don't know if I'm the right person to ask about this, because I'm the kind of person that says it the way it is. But I think that having said that, the one thing that I myself am working on being cognizant of is जो सबकी strength आपकी strength नहीं होती. तो मैं शायद मुंह फटूं, मैं शायद बिंदास हूं, मैं चाहे कुछ भी बोल दूं, लेकिन as somebody that is a public personality, as somebody with a open Instagram profile, as somebody that, you know, people maybe do look up to, you know, I think that it's kind of important for me not to be hurtful or, you know, callous about the things that I say. Basically, मेरा मतलब ये है कि I think I'm a strong girl, touch wood, because of my mom. You know, she's a strong woman. But ultimately, we should not censor, but we should just sensitize, I would say, what we are saying, because maybe a listener or a viewer will not have the same strength to deal with something as I would, which is something that I'm discovering with time. Whether it's my opinion on body shaming, whether it's about my opinion on feminism. I'm a very strong girl. मुझे actually फर्क नहीं पड़ता कोई क्या बोले, and I don't find my I don't seek for external validation. But as a public figure, अगर मैंने ये चीजें trivialize कर दी, तो somebody who's not so strong might not take it well. So I think, I don't know if censorship is the word, but I think sensitivity is the need of the hour for sure.
Wonderful. Okay, and you also said that you were very happy with the fact that people compared this performance of yours with your mother's performances. That is something that means a lot to you.
It does.
Right. And I was reading one of the interviews, and apparently you've said that you would want your husband to stay with your mother, with you and your mother.
मतलब हाँ, मैंने बोल तो दिया था अब लेकिन उसके बाद mom ने बोला, what if I don't want to stay with him? And I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So I mean, I went on the interview and I thought I was being really sweet, but mom was like, listen, I might need my own space. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't put it out there then.
So this is Prangan from Bangladesh. There were a few scenes where you had to interact with Sajjad, but Akshay sir was not there. These scenes seem to be really, really challenging. How would you describe shooting for these scenes? I love you a lot.
It was challenging. I think more than anything, what was challenging was holding the eye line. Because मतलब ये नहीं है ना कि मैं कहीं भी देख के अपने आप से बात कर सकती हूँ. One is that you're really believing that you're talking to somebody, which is of course what I had to do. But if I'm imagining कि सज्जाद है and Akshay Kumar is a tall man, तो मैं यहाँ भी देख के नहीं बोल सकती. I have to have an eye line there. So I think that was actually the hardest part, but Anandji really did help with that.
This is Grishma from Mumbai. Words cannot describe how much I loved you in Atrangi Re. Rinku ruled like she should, and I'm proud of you, Sara. Is there a genre that has your attention particularly and in which you would love to do a movie or a series in?
I think that I want to be able to do every kind of genre. The one thing that this film has done is made me greedy to do films with meat and roll and opportunity and layer and nuances and all of that. But मुझे हर तरह की फिल्म करनी है, लेकिन अगर एक चुननी हो तो मुझे एक पीरियड फिल्म करनी है.
This is Muku from India. How you mentioned that Vidya ma'am called you after Atrangi Re. Are there any other reactions, particularly from within the industry, that motivated you or made you happy? How are you processing all of this? We are so happy for you and love you so much.
Some really nice messages. I mean, it would be unfair for me to just name one or two, but some like really, really nice messages. And I think that people are just being, it's weird to say for yourself, but I think overall, I'm just like very, very humbled by just a lot of love that I'm receiving.
Arfa from Pakistan. Hi, Sara. Do you like poetry? Which poet is your favorite? And this is for you. जो उनकी आंखों से बयान होते हैं, वो लफ्ज शायरी में कहाँ होते हैं? वाह, अच्छा है. Not bad.
Very Ghalib like, na? Ghalib I like.
Raya है आपकी fan. Hi, Sara. Love Atrangi Re, but I now want to see more of Bishu and Rinku and their Atrangi married life. Can you please tell Anandji and Himanshu ji to come up with a sequel? That's a good question.
It's not a question. It's my innermost emotion. I want the same thing.
That will be interesting as well. That will be very interesting.
Honestly, I'm not just saying this for the sake of it. I've now given so many interviews about Atrangi. But मैं सच बोलूं ना, तो if there's anything in my life I want to do again, it is the shoot of Atrangi. The amount of pure joy, contentment, excitement, happiness that this film has given me. मतलब मैं तो बार-बार यही film करती रहूं.
Of course. No, I think it definitely makes sense. This is another good question. This is Ash from Kerala. All the questions are good. This one is very interesting. Hi, Sara. In your 5-film-old career, do you have that one breakdown scene where you felt you are emotionally drained, but you have to give your 200% to make it perfect?
I think that as an actor, the one thing that I'm proud of is that I give my 100% to every scene that I do. Sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't connect. Sometimes my 100% is better than my 100% on another day. But I think that what Anandji made me do for the climax of Atrangi stands out specifically. Because वहाँ पे कोई actor नहीं था. क्योंकि green screen था and everything was imagination. So it was all a flashback, VFX, imagination. It was a lot. So I think that that's the time where, as an actor, of course, every scene is challenging. Hamesha action reaction par khilna padta hai, but somewhere having an actor in front of you to feed off is definitely a little bit easier than pure imagination, which is what the climax of Atrangi was. So that was a little bit tricky, but I think Anandji held my hand through it like he did with everything else. But yes, that was a scene that I think I gave my everything to. Matlab, I'm actually sobbing in the scene.
So you mean to say the railway platform scene was
Yeah.
on green screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay. This is from Kashmir. What movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of?
I think Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham.
This is Anisha from Guwahati. Hi, Sara. I've been a big fan of your interview since I saw you for the first time on Bollywood Hungama. I love how spontaneous, quirky, fun, and real you are. Also love Rinku. If given a chance to redo something in life, what would it be?
Redo something in life. Honestly, like, it's a kind of a resolution. I don't know how much I'll be able to live up to, but as somebody that has a problem with overthinking, I'm trying my best to just like understand and internalize कि जो हो गया वो हो गया, you know, और आप actually कर नहीं सकते. So what's the point of thinking?
This is interesting. Hello, Sara ma'am. This is Dave. I have two questions for you. Would you like to work with Ranbir Kapoor?
Of course.
How you deal with failures and negative aspects in your life?
So yes, I don't know why these questions have been put together, but yes, I would like to work with Ranbir Kapoor, and well, I deal with failures and successes the same way in my life. I think that they're part and parcel of life, and just one has to look at it as, you know, होता रहेगा, उससे सीख मिलती है, लेकिन उससे रुकना नहीं है, ना सर झुकाना है, ना नाक ऊंची करनी है, बस take it in your stride and keep going.
That's wonderful. This is Vignesh from Chennai. Down the line, can we expect a straight Tamil film starring Sara Ali Khan?
I would love to. If given the opportunity, why not?
Hi, Saradi. I'm from Kota. This is Abhilash Sarthi. I love your performance in Atrangi Re. I don't know why, but before exam, whenever I watch your films, my exam अच्छी ही जाती है. मेरी exam अच्छी ही जाती है. 2018 से ऐसे ही हो रहा है. Thanks for coming to films.
Thank you very, very much.
This is Pallavi Tade from Pune. I'm Pallavi from Pune. Which actress you really look up to, and how will you define your ideal boyfriend?
You know, these two questions that they're asking have no relation with one another, but never mind. So I think an actress that I really look up to, I think from our generation, it would be Alia Bhatt. So Alia. And boyfriend, honestly, I don't mean to sound cliche, but right now one is so focused on trying to make up for all the lost time because of COVID कि मतलब बस काम में इतना focus देना है ना कि मतलब boyfriend non-existent हो तो बेहतर है.
Boyfriend non-existent ho to better hai. All right. And Sara, I have a bit of surprise for you. There's a fan. He's a friend of mine. His name is Vindesh. He's there in this Zoom call, and he just wants to say a hi to you. Vindesh, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, thank you, sir. Hi, Sara ma'am. How are you?
Hello, Ji. Please don't call me ma'am. कैसे हो आप?
I'm good. Thank you. So I was very curious when मैं आपको देखा and all everything, and the thing which I like about you is more like your confidence and the way you smile, basically. मतलब very bindass personality.
You know, ऐसे आप कर रहे हो तो smile करने का मन भी किया, but ऐसा लगा कि करना भी पड़ा.
I'm a bit nervous as well, but at the same time, I'm very excited to talk to you. And it is very weird, but आपका जो मेरे को in a funny way, जो आपका funny rhymes जो रहता है काफी hit है, वो मतलब मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है. The one I remember is like with Akshay Kumar आपने किया था. You look वहाँ and Akshay Kumar is यहाँ, and that was like, it was very funny in a way. And
where he was Shah Jahan. I remember.
Yes. I saw it a very long time back, but looking at the interview and like after बातचीत चल रहा था, I just remember that line. And the more like I think what people like me and others fan of yours like about is you is or are inspired by you is with because of your I guess the transformation, your confidence, and the way you are basically. Like you're very much bold. You have no filters. मतलब आप as in you're very upfront and you just the way you are. Simple as that. That is what
Thank you.
I and others love.
Wow, that was very well said. And he is so shy. He's saying, I will be tongue-tied in front of her. All right, so thank you, Bindesh, and thank you very much, Sara, for finding time for us from your busy schedule in Indore, and all the best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again.
Bye.